Okay, when we're talking about desirable difficulty, I'm going to show you three ways that we can apply this to Chessable. And I'm going to be fairly quick about them. We don't need to get in too much depth. But the first one is going to be to hit this review all button instead of going directly to your course to review um, to review whatever is due for spaced repetition. Why is that the case? Because when you do review all, it picks randomly among your courses that have variations due for review. Okay. And for example, this is from 100 end games you must know. Now, there are some times when it will do the same course a couple positions in a row, and because it is random. Okay. I believe, and this is a change from um, I believe, from the Move Trainer when they made the upgrade. And this concept is called interleaving. So this is as opposed to what we call block studying or mass studying, where you study one topic. Now, I do think it is beneficial, especially for beginners, to if you're studying tactics, maybe to focus on pins and to study pins. But then as you get better, you need to mix them up together to increase the difficulty so that because in a game, no one's going to be there going, oh, there's a pin here. You have to be able to recognize it. And so by using this function here on Chessable, you can do it. Of course, in the Chessable algorithm is going to the Chessable algorithm is going to make me look silly by doing two endgame ones in a row. But um, let's see if we can just demonstrate what I'm talking about here. Let's click the next button, and the algorithm is trying to punish me here. So, well, in any case, the general way it's supposed to work is that um, we'll try one more time. Oh, I made the wrong move. Moving too quickly here. Okay. Uh, we will try one more time just to demonstrate this. I'm going to click the next button. And yes, finally, it changed it up. So now here we're studying a variation from Christoph Zielecki, Keep It Simple 1E4, an excellent course, by the way. But the general idea here is that if you do this for all of the ones that are due, you will get them in a mixed order. Although in this particular one, I think I just have a lot of ones due from my endgame course. So that is the first one, which is called interleaving. And the way you do that here in Chessable, let's just go to the beginning here, is to click on this here. The second one is, let's go ahead and click on this again, is to use, let me see if I can show it to you here. See this little eye here in the lower right? It's to use this. It's the hide the hint button. I'm going to click on it, and you can see here. Now, I know this is from my Keep It Simple E4 course because I just saw it. But if I go ahead, let me just see if I can clear this really quick. This is from the Philidor. And I actually faced this quite a bit in, let's see here. I think this is the G3 variation here. I think I just play this first. Nope, I take first. Anyways, a little distracted here trying to do this while we're recording. But the general idea here is that by not seeing what the clue is, let me go ahead and pause this. By not seeing what the heading is or what the clue is, we are. You can imagine if you're doing like 100 variations from different courses, it's forcing you to actually look at the position and try to understand the position, which is what we want to do instead of, for example, if you know it's from a tactics course and you see that in the header here, then you're going to be thinking, oh, it's a tactic. But let's say you have a strategic course and the move is not a forcing tactical move, but you also have a tactical course that you're reviewing, and then you see the position. Now, you might recognize the position, but the point is that you're actually looking at the pieces and looking at the position and not cluing yourself in with the the heading. Okay, so that is the second way to increase the desirable difficulty here on Chessable. Okay, the third way, and a lot of people might not like this one, but I think it's very important, is to set the custom schedule uh, for um, optimum learning. And let me show you what I mean here. A lot of people will take this. So this is my custom schedule here. I start level 1 at 8 hours, not 4 hours. Partly because I don't review, like I'll do like a morning session and an evening session for Chessable with random. Like if I'm waiting in line at a store, I'll pull out Chessable too. But I don't want to see the items too often because otherwise I'm going to have too many that I have to review, and it's just inefficient. So the point behind this is there's some research that when it comes to spaced repetition, that a little forgetting, where it's maybe a little difficult for you to remember what you're supposed to remember, is ideal. Okay, but what a lot of people do in order to maximize the XP points here on Chessable, which I don't agree with, is that they will, they will set this for 1 hour and then they'll multiply it by one here. Okay, and so basically they're every hour they're due for a repetition, and then they jack up their points. The difference here is the point here is that this is not an efficient way to do it, and um, let me go put it back to my. It's not an efficient way to study because you're going to be studying things over and over. And then the people I've talked to, I've chatted with a few people about it, um, and it's nice to have friendly conversation about it. Is they do it so that they can get up on the leaderboards, but when it comes to actually learning chess, you don't want to spend your whole day just churning out variations that you have memorized. Okay, by stretching out the interval between each repetition, you are actually forcing yourself to learn the material. Okay, let me go ahead and set this. Let me just show you a quick example here. So I don't have anything to do from this course because I already did it, but let me just click on this here. Okay, so in this position, let me see which, this is for my keep it simple 1 e4. I know my first move is e4, okay? And this is kind of a silly example, but bear with me here. Actually, I'm going to pause it so I don't fail it because of that. Now, if I had to review that 1e4 was the move here every single hour, then yes, I do know that it's 1e4, but did I really need to? Well, that's not a great example. Let's go further ahead in the variation here. Okay, right here. So here, G3 is the variation, and now I'm going to pause it. Now, if every hour I reviewed that it was G3, yes, I guess you would say that I would have learned it, but it was never really a challenge for me to figure that out. Whereas in some of these variations of the Philidor, I don't play G3. I play bishop to C4. And having enough time in between each variation where I have to actually learn the difference. And just as an example, and those would be variations where D4, or I'm sorry, where knight B to D7 are played instead of bishop to E7. I play bishop to C4. If I never have to figure that out, or I never have to learn it because I repeat them so frequently, then those synapses or those. I'm not, again, the science isn't maybe the biology of it I don't have totally down, but whatever is going on up here that helps you to learn it doesn't happen. Okay. And again, I've studied this a little bit with some of the research behind spaced repetition, that you need to extend it. Now, if we go back to, let's go back to my, gonna have to do a little more work here to do my repetitions later, but that's okay. I'm just doing this. So if we go back to my custom schedule here, I did make one edit though. I did change this to 3 months instead of 6 months because I found that when I changed it to 6 months here for my maximum interval, then I was forgetting almost 80% of the time. Whereas 3 months, it's still tricky if I don't, there's some variation. I know the earlier moves and the variations very well, but 3 months was enough where it was difficult enough that I had to kind of really learn why the purpose behind the move, but it wasn't so far that I forgot the purpose behind the move. Does that make sense? Now, each of you are going to have a custom schedule for you that is optimal. By the way, I think this is just a pro feature, but I would recommend it so you can optimize your learning. But the idea is you want to stretch it far enough out that it's a tiny bit challenging. So you actually have to learn the stuff. You have to learn the understand it, but you don't want to make it so far out that that you totally forget it. So you don't want to totally forget it, but you don't want to be just sort of churning it out automatically. You don't want to be a robot when it comes to these repetitions. Okay, so I know I spent a little more time on that last one, but it is probably the most important step in getting that desirable difficulty, and also the most, I think, the one where a lot of Chessable users kind of go wrong, in my opinion, in that they make their intervals too frequent. So again, desirable difficulty, and you can apply this to any aspect of chess training. Let me give you a couple examples with playing people. You want to play people who are slightly stronger than you, maybe 50 to 100 points stronger than you. But you also occasionally want to play players that are weaker than you. But in general, you want to kind of play that next level that you want to get to. If you play grandmasters, if you're not a grandmaster, if you're playing grandmasters all the time and losing all the time, that sometimes isn't helpful too, because for a few reasons, in that first off, it's going to be very frustrating. But secondly, you're never going to practice winning positions. Okay. Similarly, if you are playing people who are 500 points lower than you, that's not desirable either, because you're never going to be practicing positions where you're put under pressure. You're always going to be winning. So you want to have a mix, but you want to have it slightly more difficult for you. When it comes to tactics training, you don't want to be studying tactics at a level where you're getting every single one correct. Those are too easy for you. You want to have some, and there's some people on Twitter. I think Andres Toth talked, International Master Andres Toth talked about it, where you want to have like a 70% success rate. Okay. If you look at my chess.com seems to do it pretty well, where I solve about 65% of the problems correctly when I'm, some of that is due to rushing and stuff like that, but they've got the difficulty just about right where I'm not getting all of, too many of them correct. So you want to have that desirable difficulty. And if you add this, it's going to help you to improve faster. Hey guys, I hope you found that helpful. Desirable difficulty, trying to find that balance between too easy and too frustrating. You're trying to find that growth zone. When you do that, it's going to be more challenging, but it's also going to be a lot of fun. And as you see your chess strength improve. So that is this installment of the game within the game of chess improvement. So, or the game of chess improvement. I'm not quite sure. I have to be better with my, be more consistent with my branding, I guess. In any case, here's some more chess tips for you. And down below, hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber to the channel. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.